Hey geeks, before we get started, make sure to do your boy a favor, like, subscribe, leave some comments on the video, let me know what you want to see in the future, and make sure to check out our giveaways playlist because we got some great giveaways coming up.
What's up geeks, back taking a look at Modern Spawn. So this, I don't know what tier this was, but I know that in the 3-pack you got this head that did not come with the single pack, so I'll give you a close-up of that in a second. And if you remember from the other video, we've got this BFG Necro knife that came with each of the figures, and this Necro Blast. So looking at outside the package, the articulation points look to be in the exact same place as the artist proof Spawn. So I'm just going to double check that, and if it is the same, I'm not going to run through the articulation. You can look back at that video. But what I will do is take a close-up look at the differences between that figure and this one, and just show you what you get if you haven't gotten yours yet and you're still curious about it. Alright, so first major difference between this and the artist proof one, of course, is the color. You get actual paint job on here, and you see that he does come with the alternate hands, 2 extra sets. They match up with the other ones nicely. And encased in the plastic behind his leg is his little cleaver weapon, or his club, but of course in full color. And the color actually brings out the details on it. Having this different, I didn't even notice this bandage wrapping on the artist proof version, and I like that this finish here actually looks like metal blending into the wood. Good, good, good. Only thing is these nails are the same color as the wood, and they should be this color or close. Metal nails should look like metal. So this head kind of reminds me of Scarecrow. So this head kind of reminds me of Scarecrow from DC. So I'm looking here, doesn't look like there's any articulation up here, so this head just naturally leans downward and to the left, which is strange. What happens if you want to look straight ahead? See, now I'm turning the head, you see how he's still kind of looking down with his head tilted? So there's no neck articulation there. That's very disappointing, because I would like to be able to have him look in different directions. Is that too much to ask? This is no bueno. Oh! Alright, so now that the head fell off, you can see that the head is designed to lean like that. Look at this curve up here. So I guess that's the way it's supposed to look. I'm not a fan of it. It would be nice if we could do that, but also straight up. I just think that you're sacrificing too much with the head position being like this. As you can see, when I hold it straight up, it has that lean to the left, and you can barely turn it. Nice blood on the side, cranium exposed, really good detail. That green in the eyes really pops. Now let me know in the comments, is there something about this version of Spawn that I don't know about, why the head has to lean that way? Or is it just because Todd thinks it looks cool? I don't know. Next big difference, the chains. They have like a copper tint to them. On the artist proof one, they were just straight silver. And the copper is more apparent in these bottom chains. They're a little bit darker than the actual skulls. Has more of a kind of rusted look to them. Good wash over the white on the abs. Looks pretty good. Abs almost as tight as mine. Just kidding, I don't have abs. Artist proof version did not have these wrist weapons. These are new to me with the spikes, looks like red finished leather. None on the other arm. Going down to the bottom, he's got his gadget holster around his leg, but then you have this spike club at the bottom, this foot covering. This is unique to this figure here. It doesn't come on the classic Spawn or the artist proof one. Collar and wings are the same. You can get the wings to fold all the way back. Get the same wingspan. Fly like an eagle. I must say, despite limited articulation, this bad boy is tough. Although I still can't get over that head. I'm gonna try not to complain about it anymore. Yep, so you got the same bicep swivel here, same waist. Although you get a little bit more of a rock than I did on the Artist Proof. No thigh swivel. Yeah, everything's basically the same. And this foot under here is going to get caught by this groove. So if you want to turn around, you're going to have to point it down. Al Simmons in the house. Kind of looks like Jax from Mortal Kombat. Head looks decent. Still tilting to the right a little bit. But you do have articulation, it looks like, on this head. Or am I mistaken here? Looks like that jaw will move. Yeah. So the head does move a little bit. See, it looks up. And it looks down, but the range is really limited. And I'm sure if I hold my thumb here, I might be able to get... Yeah, it turns independently. Okay, don't know why they couldn't do that with the other head. But this neg peg is really wonky. Not a fan of how it sits in there. But the face sculpt looks good. I set it off. Yas! BFG fits perfectly in there. Finger and thumb line up. FYI for the BFG, it's better to use the left hand because on the right hand you have this battle gauntlet and it gets in the way of the end of the back of the gun. I don't know, something about this guy just screams violence. He is pretty boss looking. Alright, so since the articulation is the same for the figures, I'm not going to do a separate review for the classic spawn. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it moving. Roll it all into one. Alright, so the real differences here is just the costume design. You've got the red in here and the white lines up in the gloves. And the gloves are all red instead of black. So not a big difference. Then you have the BFG, just has different colors. So basically a paint swap. And the weapons are mostly the same. You just have these two different blast effects and the Necro Sword is painted. Alright, so you can see the difference in the paint jobs there. And now that I'm taking a closer look, these modern Spawn hands, paint's kind of sloppy on them. A lot of black bleed over. Spikes on the classic Spawn are kind of reddish. I don't know if that's the red paint coming through the silver. You can see here where the paint is starting to come through. So it's just silver paint, but the red is bleeding through real hard on it. And before I forget, autographed McFarlane piece that I got. Didn't realize there were 3 different ones, but that I guess came with a higher tier. Necro Sword, painted versus unpainted. Didn't even realize I still had the hand in there. Blended in so well, I missed it. That also menacing mallet. And here's the painted version of that screaming head that came with the Artist Proof Spawn. I like that green in the mouth, although I wish it was the same green as his eyes. But I guess they're trying to make it look like it's darker because his mouth is quite dark. And the BFGs are different. I didn't even realize that. You've got barrel rounds here and cartridge rounds here. And I'm not sure what this canister is, but different. Didn't realize that. The whole while I was thinking we got 2 of the same gun. Alright, McFarlane. Go with your Kickstarter bad self. And I actually made a boo-boo earlier. This came with the Artist Proof Spawn. I just picked it up by mistake. So head articulation is the same we just saw on the Al Simmons head. And this one's got that curve too. I don't remember the Artist Proof having that curve, but I'll have to go back and check. I could be wrong. It's annoying. Don't like that gap. I got him looking straight up. Look how huge that gap is. Does Spawn only look down? Is that what it is? Now you can work with his head. I don't like that at all. So the more I mess with it, the more the articulation's letting me down. The lack of range on the arms make the Necroblast look funny because it's hard to pose. Like if he was really shooting this, his arm wouldn't be that low. It's just, difficult to get. See, it's kind of like, it gives you that 80s, 90s action figure vibe where you just had to make do, but we need more range here. This arm needs to be able to flare out and come up. I do like the white. I do like the white on this outfit though. It reminds me of Captain Britain a little bit. And it's more of a bone off-white than a straight white. Come on, Al. Pose for me. Here he is with the second BFG. He looks stiff. I don't like this pose. As I'm going on, I'm becoming a little bit more and more disappointed with the articulation. I was enamored at first, but it's been a couple of days, and as I'm going through it, just the posing. He looks better posing without the weapons and the accessories, with those open spooky hands. Once you get the weapons and accessories in there, you're kind of limited on what you can do because those arms just don't have that much range. This is what bothers me. The stem of the Necro sword is long enough to get both fists on it, but because of the articulation, you can't get them close enough. I'm gonna try again. I had this in it. Just popped right out. Okay, it stayed that time, but it shouldn't be that hard. Just to get the hands to meet. That was pretty good. That's about the only position you can get those hands in though. And you can see right here, the wrist is already starting to slide out of place. So the pressure of pulling those arms in so close, it's eventually gonna pop out. So I don't think I could leave them on the shelf like that. I think eventually that hand is just gonna come out on its own. Now that head makes a lot of difference. He just looks much more menacing. That's tight work. See, I got the Halo 2 dual wield on there. Anyone else getting a Punisher vibe there? Tight fit in my light box, but I got them all in. Alright, so what do you think, geeks? Sorry it took me longer than expected. Had a crazy week. I promised this video last weekend, and I'm just getting it out. Sound off in the comments. As you know, I was taken when I opened this up, and I love it. But I have to say, now that it's all sunk in, it's been a few days, I am a little disappointed. Was it worth the money? Yes, don't get me wrong. I'm not upset that I bought it. But I just feel like after 20 plus years, which McFarlane is celebrating, you think they would get the articulation down. And I don't think it's a matter of them not being able to do it. I just don't think they're really trying, because you can't keep doing the same things over and over and over again. And I get a lot of people, when this was announced, I saw the chatter that they were saying that, well, this is more of a deluxe figure for posing, but it's been this way across the line. Even the DC Multiverse figures and the Mortal Kombat figures that come out now, they just don't get the articulation right. There are too many examples out there. You've got Jazzwares with the great articulation, and they're basically new to the game. You got Hasbro, you got Mattel. They're not even trying to do the things that the other figures, they're not even trying to do the other things that some of the other figure companies are doing. And what kills me about this is these figures look great, they're spectacular, and they come with all these accessories and weapons, but as you saw, it was hard to get them in good poses with those weapons. So what's the point of having them if they look funky holding them? I don't want that stiff 1980, 1990s toy look. I want dynamic action figures. So I know I'm ranting. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Again, don't get me wrong. Totally spectacular. They look great. It was well worth the money. Matter of fact, I would have paid more for them. But despite me liking them so much, I still have to call out what I see as wrong. And I don't like the neck articulation, and I don't like the articulation overall. But that head really, really bothers me. So again, sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Just don't be a jerk about it. Let's have a discussion. Anyway, geeks, that's it. Anyway, geeks, thanks for hanging in there. That's it for the McFarlane Spawn trilogy. This Kickstarter is finally over. I'm sure another one's coming soon. Till next time, Spawn out.